A very good evening to all the participants and delegates. I begin today by acknowledging the contribution of our forefathers who have helped in creating a world based on freedom and human dignity. I extend my respect to people of diverse cultures, faiths, colors, and genders, and pledge to work for equity, inclusivity, peace, and harmony. I, Prakriti Paliwal, student of DME Media School, welcome you to the technical session 11 of 6th edition of the world's first 7-day staggered co-location conference ICAN6. ICAN6 is organized by DME Media School in collaboration with the School of Communication and Creative Arts, Deakin University, Melbourne, Australia, and is sponsored by the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR. This time, ICAN6 is organized in a staggered format, which will take place at 4 different venues across India and abroad. Phase 1 will be held in Delhi Metropolitan Education, Noida, from 19th to 21st June, and Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad, on 22nd June. Phase 2 will be in Makhan Lal Chaturvedi National University for Journalism and Mass Communication, Bhopal, on 21st July, and Daffodil International University, Bangladesh, on 5th to 6th August 2023. I would like to take a moment and introduce organizer of this conference to our audience. Delhi Metropolitan Education, DME, is an A-grade premier education institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, New Delhi, and approved by the Bar Council of India. DME Media School is one of the most promising media institutes in the country. It offers BA in journalism and mass communication. It is recognized as a school focused on the growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. ICAN6 has come with the theme Identity, Culture, and Agenda-Driven Newscast with the hashtag Cultural Identity for Diversity. ICAN6 has support of more than 21 partners. This conference is sponsored by the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR. Conference partners are IAMCR, Gen Section, and GMEC, Global Media Education Council. Knowledge partners are Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad, Makhan Lal Chaturvedi National University for Journalism and Mass Communication, Bhopal, Adamus University, Kolkata, Institute of Applied Medicines and Research, Ghaziabad, and KSF, Keshav Suri Foundation. International partners are Daffodil International University, Bangladesh, Institute for International Journalism, Ohio University, USA, and Beacon House National University, Pakistan. Media partners are The Policy Times, Jai Hind Times, Quick News, and News 44. ICAN6 is powered by Asian Media and Cultural Studies Network, Australia, India Film Practitioners and Researchers Network, Australia, the Student Council of DME Media School, SPARC, RIM, Research Center of DME, and Richmond Fellowship Society, India, Delhi branch. Since 2018, DME Media School has been organizing the international conference ICAN. The themes for the former editions were India and Changing Aspects of News in ICAN 1, Indian Cinema and Alternative Networks in ICAN 2, Issues of Community Agenda and News in ICAN 3, Information, Communication and Artificial Networks in ICAN 4, Inclusivity, Convergence and Alternative Negotiations in ICAN 5, Identity, Culture and Agenda-Driven Newscast in ICAN 6. This unique conference is conceptualized by Dr. Ambrish Saxena, Professor and Dean of DME Media School. He is the convener of ICAN6. I now request Sir to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Prakriti. So it's a matter of great pleasure that this 4-day segment of ICAN6 will be concluding with this technical session. In all, this is in 4 days, this is the 21st session that we are organizing. We are happy that whatever we planned went off well as per our planning and designing. In the coming days and coming months, the second leg of the conference, many more sessions will happen. And this time, since we received too many papers, I mean, the number was really large. So to accommodate all paper presentations, we have to increase the number of the technical sessions. This is the 11th technical session, and in the second leg, obviously, 5, 6 more technical sessions will happen. And this session, again, we have scheduled it in the late evening because during the daytime, it was not possible to accommodate the papers which were not there scheduled in the regular sessions. And I am again obliged to Dr. Wajia Raza Rizvi to spare time at this hour to chair this technical session. Despite all her busy schedule, she has been able to spare time. She is a big support to ICAN and to all the academic endeavors that we do at DME. So with this opening remarks, I hand it over to Pramod Pandey to take the session forward. Yeah, Prakriti, you need to say something more. Yeah, you can take it up there.
Thank you, sir. I am happy to share that Journalism at DME is the official newsletter of DME Media School. This fortnightly publication covers all the major activities happening in and out of the campus. It is a student-centric newsletter carried out entirely by them under the supervision of the faculty members. DME TV is our official YouTube channel where you can find the playlist related to all the sessions, lecture series, film festivals, and conferences. For more information, follow us on our social media handles and YouTube channel DME TV. Today, we're all here for the technical session on the topic Media Content and Facets of Journalism in a World Shaken by Narrow Political Gains. This session will be chaired by Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi and co-chaired by Dr. Pramod Kumar Pandey. Now, I hand over to co-chair to begin this session.
Thank you very much, Prakriti. It is an immense pleasure for all the faculty members of DME Media School that we have Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi with us. Let me just give you a brief introduction of Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi, co-chair of Gender and Communication section of International Association of Media and Communication Research. She is an associate professor at School of Media and Mass Communication, Deakin House National University, and Director, Film Museum Society, Pakistan. She is also President, Pakistan National Association of Fulbright Alumni and Fulbright Alumni Association, Lahore. She is a Fulbright, FCO SAS, Chevening and GIMD research scholar and a filmmaker with about 100 television productions, documentary films, quiz shows, and TV commercials to her credit. She specializes in film and media research and has a large collection of the archives of Pakistani films, including those of the subcontinent from the pre-partition era. This is just a little of a big profile of Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi. Ma'am, we are blessed to have you with us today. And with your permission, I would like to take the session forward and bring our first paper presenter of the day. So the first paper presenter of the day is Ms. Vaishali Gautam and Professor Sanjay Johri. I request Vaishali to take the presentation forward and make sure that we stick to the timelines as shared so that we get more time for the interaction. The timing will be 7 to 8 minutes of presentation and 2 to 3 minutes of the interaction. So please try and stick to the timeline. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, respected dignitaries and my fellow participants, very good evening to one and all. My name is Vaishali Gautam, and today I'm going to present my paper, which is titled Hate Speech, Propaganda, TRP. Has Journalism Lost Its True Existence? The objective of my paper is to analyze the contemporary scenario in the Indian news media Indian news media agencies. Now, these terms sounds quite heavy, but what do they actually mean? If I try to define them in the simplest ways possible, so talking about hate speech is a kind of public speech that encourages hate and violence, either in written or verbal form, towards an individual or a group, as the name already mentions. And this can aim or is on the grounds of race, religion, sexual orientation, or anything similar to these grounds. And what is propaganda? Propaganda relates to the kind of communication that is biased or misleading in nature and aims towards manipulating masses' opinion, especially for political gains. When we talk about TRP, I think the full form says it all, television rating point, and this is the center of all these malpractices. Now, it's very important to mention some of the examples to know how these practices are actually affecting ethical journalism. So when we talk about hate speech, instead of going on giving an example of one particular incident, I would just like to mention a particular news format which is very popular nowadays in Indian news media. I think that entire news format is a perfect example of spreading of hate speech, and I'm talking about the news debates. So these news debates, you'll hardly find any of these news debates talking about development or any such topic that is actually in favor or actually worthy for development of the country or the people of the country. But you'd usually see in these debates that they bring people from two different communities, and then those people talk ill about each other's community and literally fight. And I quickly want to mention this thing over here. Recently, this supports my study actually. Recently, I was watching an interview of a veteran journalist. Her name is Mrs. Richa Anirudh. She's not into journalism anymore, but she openly mentioned that once she got to anchor or host one of these debate shows, and she made the debate show go very, swiftly without any chaos. And later on, she was asked by the producer that this was not she was meant to do. They actually wanted her to make the guests fight with each other. Like, what can be a bigger revelation, what can be a bigger example that can justify the existence of hate speech propagation by the Indian news media? Now, when it comes to propaganda, another example, a very common example I would give, all of us know what happened to NDTV recently. Majority of its stake was, bought by the Adanis, and which eventually made Adani's own NDTV. And if you would analyze the content of NDTV before this happened and after this happened, you'll clearly see a drastic change in the content. It completely changed because NDTV was the only news channel among the top news channels, at least, which spoke against the ruling government. But now you go and watch the content of NDTV, they do not anymore do that. And if I discuss a case study on how TRP has manipulated everything, the most popular and everybody knows that case study is of how Arnab Goswami and his channel Republic TV got into that entire scam, and there was an entire issue where it was revealed that they have done TRP manipulation during all that Sushant Singh Rajput murder case. Not murder case, actually. It wasn't proved whether it was a murder or a suicide. See, the impact is so much that it made me mention murder case, because this was how it was presented by the media houses. Now, when it comes to literature review, I went through a few existing studies and articles to move further with my studies. So one of them was Chakrabarti studies, which was done in 2019, that talked about hate speech. In India and revealed that it promotes division, intolerance, and hampers public trust. Other case studies include the study done by the Committee to Protect Journalists. So this was from the perspective of the journalists. Rest of the study were from the perspective of the public. So this was from the perspective of the journalists done in 2020 that talked about the political pressures and the threats to press freedom faced by Indian journalists. And as we all know, according to the 2022 index, India's rank when it comes to press freedom is 150th in 180 countries, I guess. So we can just judge what is the condition of press freedom in our country. Then another study was the Media Foundation study, which was again done in 2020 during the COVID-19 times, which revealed the economic pressures over journalists and the news media industry. And the example, it is very evident by the example I just discussed, how Adani took over NDTV and it just completely revolutionized the content they used to show. Now coming to the methodology. So obviously I did a background study before taking up these topics. And then I conducted the major source of data for me was the survey that I conducted, an online survey that had 140 participants and the age range was 18 to 65. I intentionally kept the slot very wide because I wanted the opinions of the youth as well as the experienced people, because as a journalism student I get in touch with a lot of people who have a lot of experience in the journalism field and they have seen how the journalism field has changed. And one of the most important people in that is my guide himself, Johari sir. Then that survey also included a section for opinions where people could voice their thoughts. And that section actually helped me to include a lot of insights, new insights to my study. I went through a lot of literature, as I mentioned, existing studies and articles that were related or closely related to my studies. I did content analysis. I went through case studies, as I mentioned in the examples, and I also did interviews of few industry people and media students. That is mentioned in my paper. Now, if I talk about the findings, it is very evident how hate speech and propaganda has harmed ethical journalism. When I say ethical journalism, I have used the term twice, but I feel, this term ethical journalism is very wrong in its first place, because I feel like if it is not ethical, it is not journalism. So moving on to another finding, the spreading of propaganda compromises honest reporting, which we all see today, and sensationalism and reduction in public trust are results of economic and political pressures. These two reasons have emerged to be the biggest reason when it comes to why these malpractices have taken over the entire journalism in our country. So political pressures as well as economical pressures are the most major reasons. Now, case studies from India show that harmful societal impacts of hate speech and propaganda, such as disseminating of incorrect information and polarization of the community. Now, I want to emphasize on this thing. What do we mean by polarization of opinions? So this is actually a concept that has emerged only after these malpractices took over journalism. So polarization of opinion of the masses is actually shifting of the opinions of the masses towards the extremes, and which has just led to people losing rational and the ability to make rational and objective decisions. Now coming to the conclusion, I would like to discuss, sorry, the light just went off. I would like to discuss two major things. First of all, what can be the steps towards curbing these malpractices? So two major steps have emerged after all the study and data collection. One step talks about self-regulation and strict laws. But I find this to be very idealistic, too idealistic to be true, because these the political parties who are actually the lawmakers, the ruling parties who are actually the lawmakers, and the news media agencies are actually the ones who are involved into such practices. So how can we expect these people to come up with strict laws or come up with self-regulation? But the second solution that emerged, I find it very practical, and the only solution we can do is media literacy for the budding journalists like us, as well as public, so that public can become wise enough to judge the kind of information that is being fed to them. Then another thing that I want to emphasize and discuss is we need to just get into the roots and work upon the ownership of the media industries, because the ownership itself is the reason of everything that is happening. Because most of the news channels, we all know, are either being owned by some politician directly or indirectly, or a media conglomerate. So these are leading to the political and economic pressures on the journalists and the media houses, and that's why they are not being able to perform journalism the way it needs to be performed. So this was it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vaishali. I would now like to request Dr. Wajiha Rizvi ma'am to please give her feedback and observations. Meanwhile, you can stop the screen share.
Yeah.
I hope you can all hear me. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Amrish Saxena for inviting me here today. And I believe he strongly supports ICAN himself. And I think we are blessed to be connected with DME and ICAN6. So I really like Vaishali Gautam's presentation. I think she has touched upon very important issue. She is talking about hate speech in media that doesn't let any one of us come to peace. And it's extremely important that she mentioned that both politician and conglomerate need to take responsibility for whatever is happening on the media. I think what is extremely important for all of us to consider is that we are always talking about war journalism or violence journalism. We also need to think about peace journalism models. So I really liked it that she talked about youth opinion, students' opinion, and I think it's extremely important that our youth is thinking along those lines. So it was important that she collected data from them and she highlighted these points. So for any of her future ventures, I think it would be interesting to learn if people do understand what peace journalism model says about all these things and how it becomes important, media is less truth oriented and it's more propaganda oriented, and we are always talking about us, them, and we are not talking about global peace and all these things which are extremely important and very beneficial for all of us. So I like the way she collected information. I think she has touched upon something really important, and the data collection and all these things were very useful. And I do think that she would touch upon these things in future, that why media is so much victory oriented or us them oriented and elite oriented, and why not media, why it is not people oriented and truth oriented. So I guess the information was very useful for all of us, and I think that I look forward to seeing more work in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Vaishali.
From here, you can also invite the questions if there are any.
So if anyone has a question, you're free to send it in the inbox and I would be reading it out for you all. So as of now, we do not have a question, but I would like to request, all the coming, presenters to please stick to the timeline, and also make sure that you give less time to introduction and more to the objectives, methodology, and the findings, so that better discussion from the research perspective can take place. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vaishali. We have our next presenter.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Garima Dobhal and Mr. Amit Massey. I request Garima.
Yes, good evening.
Good
I am
evening.
audible.
Yeah, you are audible, Garima, and you are now free to share your screen and present.
Okay, sir. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible, Garima.
Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is Garima Dobhal, and today I'm here to present my presentation on to study the role of digital media in shaping political campaign, a case study of Bharat Jodo Yatra. So, social media has become a significant platform for citizens to discuss. Instagram are not just new development in the internet world. In the 21st century, they are also quickly becoming influential platform for the formation of opinions. Like before coming on Bharat Jodo Yatra, I would like to say that how social media helped political party to gain popularity among its viewers as well as its followers. So in Bharat Jodo Yatra, so it is that how social media helped Bharat Jodo Yatra to gain popularity all over India, even across the world also. So as first is the Bharat Jodo Yatra, it is an open to everyone who may participate by walking, while 16 Congress party officials will actively participate in this yatra. So those who are unable to do so will they spread word by organizing event and engaging in online activities. Means this yatra is free for everyone. Those who have been joined as well as for them, they can share their post as well as reels. They made videos related to this yatra, and because of this post, they had a good promotion. So the Yatra spokesperson was Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He valiantly refused to give one-on-one interviews to any significant media person. The main role of this Yatra was to protest against the politics of fear, bigotry, and prejudice. And instead, he said that he will not give interview to any media outlet. He will give interview to well-known bloggers, journalists, and influencers who are present on social media and had a good reach, had a good Facebook, had a good social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So literature review. So before doing this project, I had researched to many books related to politics, as well as I have taken 2 case studies related to as many celebrities they joined Bharat Jodo Yatra. So I have taken guidance from 2 newspapers. Like first is Times of India and second is Hindustan Times. And 2 persons case study I have taken as many celebrities they joined this yatra. So one is Mr. Raghuram Rajan and second is Mr. Kamal Hassan, who joined this yatra with Rahul Gandhi. So in after reading that, what I thought after when they said that the meaning of this yatra is equality. So they had a very good remark over this yatra. And in methodology, the main aim is that the role of this media is very essential in every aspect of life. So it is a common knowledge that media is viewed as a 5th pillar of democracy and that it is currently playing a major role in politics. Like in digital media, it's really very helpful for political aspects, as we have seen that in election times, as well as not in India, but across the world also, that in elections, many social media is very useful for promoting in elections. So many political people, they get a very good profit related to this. So in digital and social media have been incorporated into the overall political campaign along with its various tactics, politicians and political parties. In findings, the forms were shared on different social media platforms, and I have taken age groups from 20 to 50, a simple random sample method, and across 100 peoples they filled my survey. They the age group is 20 to 50 only. So political party and politicians now use social media as a new channel for the voter engagement due to how social media has altered how politics is communicated. So in this survey, the trial size was 100 people and 20 to 50 was the respondent. So as a digital and social media have been incorporated into overall political campaign along with its various tactics. So in conclusion, as we have seen that in 2022, UP elections are there. So in January last, we came to know that COVID is rising again, because in April, the result came of UP elections. So we have seen that COVID is rising again. But what happened that many political parties who are just fighting for this, many political party, they said that they will promote themselves through social media instead of doing rallies. And we have seen Karnataka elections also, though it is not COVID, but we have seen that many political parties, they had done rallies also, as well as they had promoted themselves through social media also. So by using digital marketing, the political party, they can save money on printing paper and canvassing staffs. Digital marketing has a potential to be a very effective and quick method of reaching people and gaining their trust. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Garima. I think the topic that you have taken for research, it's a very relevant one, but I believe that there could have been a little bit more clarity on the methodology. So it would have become even a better presentation than what it was. Now I would like to request Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi ma'am to please provide her feedback. And meanwhile, I would also request if there is any question, please feel free to ask on the chat box.
Thank you, Dr. Pramod Pandey. You're very right. I think the topic is extremely important and very relevant, because over past more than 10 years, we have realized that social media has become a very important platform for politicians across the world. And not only UP and Karnataka, it happened in Pakistan during the last elections, and in rest of the world, definitely America and other parts of the world. So I guess she has touched upon a very important topic, and you are absolutely right. I think definitely she has given a good presentation. She can further enhance its impact by slightly looking into, like what happened in other parts of the world. That would not only improve the literature review part, and she mentioned the age group of youth as well, and I think that those things could be definitely slightly more useful. But I think that the time restriction probably does not allow presenters to give a lot of information. So, but I think what was more interesting was mentioning of the celebrities, especially Kamal Hassan with Rahul Gandhi, and the other celebrities who became part of this study. And I think that any future study that would focus on this part, like celebrity role during elections, would be very interesting to know. So I think that she has not only given good information at present, she has also identified other factors which may be very useful for future studies point of view. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you very much, Garima, for presenting the paper on such a pressing issue. Thank you. You can stop the screen share now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we do not have any question in the chat box. So we are going to move ahead with our next presenter. That's Mr. Ritwik Ghosh. Ritwik, sir, please, you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Ambi sir. Good evening, Bala ma'am. Good evening, Rajia ma'am. And
Just wait, sir.
yes, I'm
If
just
you can
ready
just
for
stop the
this.
screen share, Garima.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a very good evening to everyone. And the title of my study is Personality Traits and Fake News, a study of the relationship in media students of India. So the objective of my study has been to identify the personality traits of media students in India based on Ocean personality model and based on the theory of planned behavior to determine the social media sharing behavior of media students of India, and then establish a relationship between personality traits of Ocean model and fake news susceptibility amongst media students in India. And the methodology that I have used is mixed method. I've done review of literature, web survey, and then through survey questionnaire, which has been in 5-point Likert scale data. So just to give you a background of Ocean model of personality trait, O is for openness. This dimension reflects an individual's tendency towards intellectual curiosity, creativity, and willingness to try new things. So a person is basically open to different ideas also. And then conscientiousness. This dimension reflects an individual's tendency towards self-discipline, responsibility, and dependability. But at the same time, this also affects in a person's maturity, because a person draws lines for himself and would like to function within that frame. Then extroversion, individuals high in extroversion tend to be more outgoing and assertive, right? And may be more likely to initiate social interactions and seek out social simulations. Then we have agreeableness. Individuals high in agreeableness tend to be more cooperative and kind and a willingness to compromise, and they are open to new ideas also. Then we have neuroticism. The dimension reflects an individual's tendency towards negative emotion, anxiety, and insecurity. So individuals high in neuroticism may be less likely to engage in social situations or may struggle with social anxiety, and they are also skeptics. Then coming to the review of literature, basically in India, actually we are dealing with fake news, which is detrimental to the society when it comes to political and religious matters. So that is one area which is actually very dangerous. So my focus has been more on this area. So the Ocean model has been applied, and some general patterns that have emerged from the literature are openness and openness is positively associated with political interest, knowledge, liberalism, activism, and tolerance. Openness is also positively associated with non-tradition or unconventional forms of religiosity, such as spirituality, mysticism, or new religious movements. But openness is not very much, pro fanaticism when it comes to religion. Then conscientiousness is positively associated with political participation, convert, conservatism, duty, and order. And conscientiousness is also positively associated with conventional or orthodox forms of religiosity, such as attendance, orthodoxy, or fundamentalism. Extraversion is positively associated with political participation, leadership, charisma, and persuasion. Extraversion is also positively associated with social or communal aspects of religiosity, such as affiliation, involvement, or proselytization. Proselytization. Sorry for that. Then agreeableness is positively associated with political cooperation, compromise, altruism, and pacifism. Agreeableness is also positively associated with emotional or affective aspects of religiosity, such as devotion, gratitude, or forgiveness. Neuroticism is negatively associated with political efficacy, stability, satisfaction, and trust. Neuroticism is also negatively associated with existential or cognitive aspects of religiosity, such as certainty, coherence, and meaning. These patterns are not definitive or, not hard and fast fixed, but they may vary, as per situation or how the indicators are, and outcome of political and religious involvement also. Moreover, they do not imply causality or directionality between the ocean traits and political and religious movement. They have to be correlated as per the situation. Rather, they suggest that there are some general tendencies or correlations between these domains of human behavior that can be explained by this Ocean model of personality traits. So this is how it is, and taking things forward, I have tried to map these personality traits as per the theory of planned behavior, which is the attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavioral control, which directs the intention. So attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral controls are independent variables, and then intention becomes dependent variable in that case. And when we map it to behavior, then intention becomes independent variable and behavior becomes dependent variable. So this is how the entire data was mapped to study the attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control with intention and behavior. Behavior is ultimately the sharing behavior, whether the student verifies the content or is very active in sharing and things like that. So coming to the findings now, I had taken a sample size of 331 media students in India from different institutions across India through snowball sampling, and 48% were male and around 52% females. And then coming to attitude, I did a frequency analysis, and as you can see, the graph suggests that the question was, do you belong to a conservative or orthodox family? Most of them said no. I mean, as you can see, this is Likert scale. So 1 is not agree, and 5 is highly agree. So as you can see here, but then the second question, do you have strong beliefs and opinions? You can see that the majority has opted for a positive response, right? Then coming to the next question, that was while commenting or posting on social media, how often do you try to convince or prove your point to others? So this is like, being very affirmative and commanding. So you see that again, majority are saying like, they try to convince their point to others. Then the next question is, do people believe in the message and posts you share? Again, the students think that whatever messages and posts they share, the others, they believe in it, those who read it or see it. So this is how the attitude is developing, as you can see. Then we have measure that how much are you interested in political and religious stories. So this is a pretty moderate response. And then we have, do you believe in the content you consume on social media? So majority, I mean, there's a moderate response, but then there are many, mostly like they actually don't believe. So this is one thing. This also indicates like, distrust in maybe media or the news or the social media content that they are consuming. So the outcome of this is like openness has been found to be related to politics and religious factors in India. The study found that individuals high in openness were likely to participate in politics, but less to be religious compared to those low in openness. But on the contrary, individuals with high openness were open to spiritual exploration, as I showed you in the review of literature also. Then individuals with high in conscientiousness were more likely to participate in politics and be religious compared to those low in conscientiousness. Then extraversion has also been found to be related to politics and religious factors in India. And then agreeableness also has been found to be related, and individuals with high agreeableness were more likely to participate in politics and religion compared to those who are low in agreeableness. And then coming to the individuals low in neuroticism were more likely to participate in politics, but those high in neuroticism again, as I said, skeptics, so they were less likely to, be more participative in politics and religion. Then coming to subjective norms, uh, people are basically driven by the content they consume. So cultivation theory implies here that elaborate likelihood model wherein you have the direct route and the peripheral route and the subliminal messages that the mind receives and orients accordingly. So as you can see, social media usage per day usage is like 2 to 4 hours. I mean, it's more towards 4 hours, as you can see. So at least like 2 to 4 hours these students do are on social media every day. The number of times social media accesses are also like between 10 or maybe like somewhere around 10 to 12 times on an average. As you can see, that 5 to 10 times is going highest, then comes your 11 to 15 times, and then greater than 15 times. So we can assume at least 10 to 15 times the students they open their social media. Then no number of media groups part of. So as you can see, around if we consider here around we getting in somewhere around an average of 8 to 10 groups part of. So as you can see, like being part of so many groups, accessing the social media so many times in a day, and then around 3 to 4 hours of usage every day. So this does affect all this media being consumed by these individuals will have some effect on them, will influence them. That's how the study shows. And then the subjective norms also I considered, like how often do you discuss about social media posts with your friends and family. So this is basically like the peer influence. So as you can see, it's towards the higher side, and then it's almost like around 4, if you consider like 70 to 80% of the times um, these students are discussing these posts with friends and families, and of course then they are going to have this peer influence on them as well. So how often do you follow news on social media is the next question that was asked, and as you can see, pretty much that the inclination is towards the positive side. So now coming to the perceived behavioral control, you see that.
Just sorry to intervene,
Yes,
but please,
yes.
try to wind up your presentation because you've already
Yeah,
exceeded.
fine. Sorry. So perceived behavioral control is basically how much control one has in fact checking and verifying the content. So these questions are asked. So again, this is where we are, but there's a contradiction that the other data showed that actually regarding knowledge of fact checking was low amongst the media students. Then intention was high towards social responsibility. Behavior again, it showed that like frequently sharing of posts and all is low. Commenting on social media posts again low. So then I had some outcomes. So I'll just come to the model that was established. So this was the model of attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavior. Attitude showed openness, conscientiousness, and extraversion. Subjective norm showed openness and extraversion. Perceived behavioral control showed conscientiousness and agreeableness. That determined the intention. So basically, this constructed for the intention, that is conscientiousness and agreeableness. And but when it comes to behavior, as you can see, the extraversion changed into introversion. So perhaps these, as the student gained knowledge about fact checking and social responsibility of all, so they basically their action is more, it gets guided and controlled towards being responsible and actually checking the facts and all. And this was the factor analysis performed where the KMO test revealed that it is greater than zero point 0.6, and Bartlett test of its veracity and significance level was also less than 0.001. Then commonalities, of course, it's showing variance, good bit of variance, and also correlation between behavior, subjective norm, attitude, and uh, uh, perceived behavioral control and intention. Then model fitting has been less than 0.001, so significant, and also goodness of fit of model, which is greater than 0.05. So basically, since there's possibility of time, so I would continue with this model. And the further scope of studies, like after giving a treatment of proper media literacy amongst a control group, like set of students, it can be post-tested and a comparison can be drawn. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ritvik sir. It was a very nice presentation, and using a model of human behavior on something like fake news is difficult as well as very interesting. I would be very much interested in reading your full paper. I would like to request Professor Wajiha Raza Rizvi ma'am to please throw some light on this research.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ritvik Bush. I think it was an extremely nice presentation. I believe it was very learning for all of us as well, because we not only included a lot of information about methodology and literature, you highlighted, like ocean personality model and 5-factor model, whatever it was, I think it was very it was quite a learning experience for everyone who participated. Slightly long, but definitely very useful. What I found interesting that you did mention, participants actually discuss these things with their family members. So because this social media is believed to have negative impact on family relations, because everyone is so busy in using social media. So I really appreciate. I heard this presentation, and I think it was a very nice presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ritvik sir. After Ritvik sir, we have our next presenter, Ms. Shreya and Professor Sanjay Jory. I request you to please turn your cameras on.
Screen visible?
Yes, your PPT is visible. You can start the presentation now.
Sure, sir.
Just think of the time limit. Please stick to the time limit.
Yes.
Thank you.
My paper is titled Overview on Improvement Towards Awareness on Menstrual Hygiene in Bihar. This is authored by me and co-authored by Professor Dr. Sanjay Mohan Jory, sir. Introduction. Menstrual hygiene management is a critical issue in Bihar, India, with limited access to facilities and education. However, in recent years, several initiatives have been taken to improve menstrual hygiene awareness and access to facilities in Bihar. Like government has started providing free sanitary napkins to adolescent girl students in government schools. Some of these schemes are Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Swachh Bharat, Swachh Vidyalaya, and the government have played a vital role offering sanitary pads, awareness campaigns, toilets, hygiene centers, and education. This analysis aims to provide an overview of the efforts made towards menstrual hygiene improvement in Bihar, their impact, and the challenges that still persist. By understanding the progress made in this area, we can gain insight into how to address the issue of menstrual hygiene in other developing countries and improve the lives of millions of women and girls around the world. The objective is first to evaluate the current state of menstrual hygiene awareness and facilities in Bihar. Second, to identify the initiatives taken by the government, non-governmental organizations, and local communities towards improving menstrual hygiene. Third, to assess the impact of these initiatives on menstrual hygiene awareness and facilities in Bihar. Fourth, to identify the challenges that persist in improving menstrual hygiene in Bihar. Methodology. Mixed method approach was used. I used three tools in this. First, literature review, where I read about the existing studies and reports. I conducted an online survey by distributing questionnaires through mails and WhatsApp messages and social media. I used purposive sampling technique for this because these questions could be answered only by the people living there. So in this case, it was girls aged 15 to 18 and people who were associated with any NGOs or government in Bihar. My sample size was 38. I had telephonic interviews with a few of the rural girls, a healthcare professional, teacher, and Mr. Pankaj Kumar of PR Foundation. Literature review. The National Family Health Survey report for Bihar was a key source of the information about how women in the state take care of their menstrual hygiene and how much they know about it. The report showed that Bihar faces many difficulties in managing menstrual hygiene. Women there have limited access to sanitary products, and the toilets and the bathrooms are not good enough for proper hygiene. Additionally, cultural beliefs and customs make it hard for people to talk openly about menstruation. However, many efforts have been made to improve the situation. The government, non-governmental organizations, and the local communities have all worked together to raise awareness, provide sanitary products, and build better facilities for menstrual hygiene. Interview. Okay, I conducted a telephonic interview with Mr. Pankaj Kumar, who is the state lead of PIA Foundation Bihar office. He has over 15 years of experience in this area. Interview was done to gather insights on menstrual hygiene management in Bihar. According to him, there are improvements, but the current state is still poor, and the reason he stated was lack of data and research, political will and leadership, infrastructure, service delivery challenges, limited engagement with NGOs, etc. In the upcoming slide, you would see his responses on the questionnaire. Additionally, I had several telephonic conversations with rural girls in Bihar to understand their experiences and perspectives on the menstrual awareness. I also interviewed Ms. Poonam Sinha, a government teacher in Patna. She said we conduct awareness programs starting from 6th grade, and NGOs also visit them, to the school, I mean, and funds are provided for sanitary napkins and maintaining hygiene. Another interview was with Dr. C.K. Chaudhary in Samastipur. He stated that there is there is improvement, but not sufficient. In villages, women still are not able to talk about it openly. Even if the government takes any kind of initiative, it still fails to reach poor people in the end. So overall, these interviews and conversations provided valuable first-hand information for this analysis. Okay, these are some of the results of my survey. Which of the following is a major challenge faced in promoting menstrual hygiene in Bihar? A majority of the respondents say that lack of awareness, limited access to menstrual hygiene products, and taboos and cultural beliefs are the major challenges faced in promoting menstrual hygiene in Bihar. What is the role of NGOs in promoting menstrual hygiene awareness in Bihar? Majority of respondents say that limited role is played in promoting menstrual hygiene awareness in Bihar. According to Mr. Pankaj Kumar, because him being an NGO person himself stated, this is due to several reasons like limited funding, resources constraints, cultural and social barriers, limited reach, and accessibility. Next, which of the following which of the following is the most effective way to overcome menstrual taboo in Bihar? Majority said education and awareness programs. Next, which of the following has been the most effective government initiative for promoting awareness about menstrual hygiene in Bihar? Majority said introducing menstrual hygiene education in school. Next, which is the current state of menstrual hygiene infrastructure in Bihar? Majority stated poor. What is the importance of male involvement in the menstrual hygiene awareness program in Bihar? Majority said limited support. Now, these are the responses. I would love to read them, but they are quite long, so I think they would take time. So I will just get on with the conclusion. So, through a literature review, interviews, and analysis of available data, the report aims to provide insights into the current state of menstrual hygiene management, identify key initiatives, assess their impact, and highlight persistent challenges. The findings of the analysis reveal both progress and the areas requiring further attention. It is evident that various stakeholders, including the government and the NGOs and community-driven initiatives, have taken a significant step to address menstrual hygiene issues in Bihar. These efforts have encompassed awareness campaigns, provision of sanitary products, construction of menstrual hygiene facilities, and integration of menstrual hygiene education in school curriculums. Such initiatives have contributed to raising awareness, including reducing stigma and improving access to menstrual hygiene resources. Despite these advancements, challenges remain, like limited access to sanitary products, adequate sanitization infrastructure, and cultural taboos continue to hinder comprehensive menstrual hygiene management in Bihar. Additionally, the report emphasizes the need for sustainable improvements. Based on the analysis, it is evident that multifaceted approach is necessary to achieve lasting change. This approach should include continued collaboration between government bodies, NGOs, community organizations, and education institutions. It is crucial to promote the importance of menstrual hygiene, foster gender-sensitive environments, and address social norms surrounding menstruation. By addressing the identified challenges and building upon the existing progress, it is possible to create a future where menstrual hygiene is prioritized, stigma is eradicated, and every woman and every girl in Bihar has access to the necessary resources and knowledge for a healthy and dignified menstrual experience. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shreya. Again, the topic that you've touched upon, it's very relevant, but when you're doing surveys, it can be very tricky. I mean, especially if you are looking to study the role, because when you are asking the people about what role it has played, it is at times merely the perception of the people about the, it's a perceived role, not exactly the established one at times. So surveys can be very tricky in that sense. You need to be able to ask the right kind of question and then do the analysis and everything. I think Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi ma'am would be able to throw more light on that. Ma'am, please, you can provide your feedback.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pramod. I think you highlighted a very important point about the surveys, because it's a reality about the people, about their perception. It's not essential that it would be a fact as such, but definitely about the reality of people, it would be right. I think you touched upon a very important topic, because being from IMCR, I also know that last year IMCR funded a study in India on a similar topic, in a different part of India though. But yes, this year we also have a dedicated session on menstrual anxiety. And in that sense, I think that you have collected very important data and very important information. And I think it's extremely useful. I like the methodology, though I think that even data collection by one method would have been fine, but you wanted to combine interviews with survey. So I believe you had your own objective behind that, and they were very useful in the sense. I liked overall the conclusion, the importance of menstrual health education at schools. And I think while it has been there in private sector for a very long time, it's also becoming increasingly important to add this education in public sector schools as well. And most importantly, you mentioned male knowledge about these things, because it's extremely important that it's not considered a taboo any further. And male understanding of the issue is also very important. So thank you. Thanks for collecting that data. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Shreya. Our next presenter is Mr. Varun Sharma. Mr. Varun, I request you to please turn your camera on.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, Varun. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Varun. I can hear you. You can start your presentation. You can share the PPT. Okay, Varun, I can start PPT. You can begin your presentation.
Okay. Good evening to everyone present here. My name is Varun Sharma, and currently I am pursuing MBA from Central University of Himachal Pradesh, situated at one of the beautiful hill stations of Himachal Pradesh, name called Dharamshala. And I did my graduation from Delhi University in BCom, Bachelor of Commerce. And today I am here to present my case study on the topic from employment to entrepreneurship, the transformative journey of pursuing passion and independence. Here are the table of contents. that we will discuss in the further presentation: introduction, background, challenges, lesson learned, and conclusion. Um, Before starting my topic, I want to discuss the objectives that I want to uh, find in this through this case study, to explore the challenges the individual faced during the transition from being unemployment to becoming an entrepreneurship, to investigate the lessons discovered and different choices made to assist other employed people to starting their own businesses. Neo Healthcare is a manufacturing company that produces a wide range of products, including health products and medicines. As there are few case studies done on the employees after the pandemic of COVID-19 and their established businesses. The research methodology used for the collection of the information is telephonic interview with the owner of Nima Healthcare named Mr. Pankaj. The interview with the owner of the business helped the researcher to understand the story of his challenges faced from the very first day of their entrepreneurial journey to the present day of scenario. From this interview, the researcher has gathered the information related to various decisions taken by the owner and various problems faced by him. He focused on quality medicines and products should be reached to the customers and providing comprehensive solutions for remote patients. This case study contains the learning how individuals can start up their own businesses. This is the history of the Nima Healthcare. As Nima Healthcare is a leading pharmaceutical company, and it is combined with the PCD pharmaceutical companies. And in India, Nima Healthcare specializes in manufacturing a wide range of formulation, including tablets, capsules, syrup, dry syrup, injections, etc. And you can see the 5 years formulations of the company. This is the background. In order to develop a successful, successful journey, this case study analyzes his path, highlighting the key turning points, obstacles encountered, and technical choices taken along the route. Mr. Pankaj made the decisions to move from the IT industry to the pharmaceutical industry because he wanted to use his ability to provide high-quality drugs positively affected people's life in real areas, real ways. Sorry. Mr. Pankaj's decision to leave his stable IT position was motivated by a strong passion for healthcare and a sincere interest in people's well-being. He was aware of the crucial importance of having access to his quality Medicare and saw numerous cases where patient had trouble finding trustworthy pharmaceuticals. Methodologies. This case study uses descriptive qualitative method because in this research it produces conclusions in the form of data that describes in detail, not in the form of numbers. The research methodology used for the collection of the information is the telephonic interview, which the owner of the Nima Healthcare named Mr. Pankaj. The interview with the owner of the business helped the researcher to understand the story of his challenges faced from the very first day of their entrepreneurial journey to the present day of their scenario, as I already told you about that. These are the findings, or we can say the challenges. First is financial constraints. Second is lack of business experiences, and government policies. As we can discuss government policies, obtaining a drug license from the government can be a challenging process that requires careful adherence to regulatory requirements. These are the lessons that I learned from this case study. First is increased employment and revenue. Nima Healthcare by Mr. Pankaj could provide employment opportunities for people. Even Nima Healthcare achieved the revenue of 45 lakhs in the financial year of 2022. Second is improved customer satisfaction. By offering quality medicines options at affordable prices, the industry could attract a loyal customer base. Third is importance of adopting to change. Nima Healthcare is an example of how businesses can adopt to a changing circumstances and create new opportunities. This is the conclusion. The individual's decision to leave their job and start their own businesses is a courageous and bold step toward pursuing their dreams and achieving personal and professional fulfillment. By venturing into entrepreneurship, they have embraced the challenges and uncertainties that come with running a business. This decision reflects their determination, passion, and belief in their abilities to create some meaningful and successful career. While the road ahead may be filled with obstacles, setbacks, and risks, their entrepreneurial spirit and perseverance will guide them towards growth, innovation, and potential for great success. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Varun. I think the title of your research is very promising and it's also very relevant. But as far as I could understand, I think your case study is based on the interview of a single individual that was the founder of this particular organization. So I believe that really does not do justice to the kind of case study that you are doing. I think there could have been more sources of data collection even on this particular organization, because there are chances of the founder exaggerating a lot of claims of the struggle and so many things. So I believe that if data could have been collected from more number of sources, I think it would have added more depth to your case study, but the presentation is otherwise good. Now, I would like Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi ma'am to please throw some light and provide the feedback.
Thank you so much. Varun, I liked the presentation. I think it was interesting to see that people normally move from, I would have expected somebody would leave pharmaceutical to join IT, but you were talking about something exactly opposite, So I think it was very interesting in that sense. And this objective, like monitoring vital signs in real time, sounds very important also. I would suggest that sometime in future, if you have time, you should also try to create a comparative study, because if you are saying that it's a case study of Nima Healthcare, and if they are looking into like monitoring vital signs in real time, so if there would be another organization also who may be specializing in this kind of thing. So I think it was very interesting to know that somebody who did not belong to pharmaceuticals as such actually tried this, and I think it's an interesting case study in this regard. It may be very useful to compare this case study with its exact opposite, when people actually understand this business and they are trying to provide same things. I think I like the presentation. It's interesting. It would be useful to see its comparative study at some point.
Okay, thank you very much, Varun. You can stop the screen share and we can move ahead with our next presenter. That's Mr. Mohammad Asad. Mr. Mohammad Asad, I request you to please turn your camera on. Okay, so we can see your presentation. You can start. We can see the PPT share.
Okay. Good evening, delegates and my fellow participants. Today, the topic of my presentation is analyzing the determinants of financial sustainability, a case study on waste warriors. These are the table of contents which I'll present one by one: introduction, background, findings, suggestions, and conclusion. First of all, I'll give some introduction about the organization. As we all know, over the past few years, waste management has become a global concern. It has become a global concern Waste is generally generated in homes, factories, building sites, refineries, and nuclear power plants. Global concern about waste management has arisen as a result of population growth, lifestyle changes, and it is a very serious problem for the environment, human being, for a business, as well as for individuals. That is why the importance of waste management must be understood by the individuals, businesses. If we talk about the inception of Waste Warriors, a young British traveler, Jodie Underhill, visited India in 2008. However, she was heartbroken when she witnessed how severe India's garbage problem was. She started a voluntary organization named Mountain Cleaners and organized weekly cleanup from Triun, a remote but garbage-stricken mountain camp, a 4-hour hike from the McLeodganj. Later in 2012, the Waste Warrior was established as a NGO, and it was registered under the Societies Regulation Act 1816, which comes under the Section 8 of the Company Act 2013. And they are they are working in a their headquarter is in Dehradun, Uttarakhand, and they are also working in Himachal Pradesh. And the main work of the NGO includes zero waste program, community activation, research and advocacy, and provide dignified livelihood to the marginalized people. And they are also working towards United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Let us move to the next slide. These are the aims and objective of the study. The first objective is to understand the determinants of the financial sustainability. The first one is income diversification. How an NGO can diversify their income. It can be from CSR, it can be from FCRA, it can be from grants, it can be from special contracts, and more. And the another one is good donor relationship. And the other one is to provide sound management practices to be followed by an NGO to improve the organization financial sustainability. This is the background of the study. Research has indicated a significant increase in the number of non-profit organizations in developing countries. And these organizations have gained recognition and trust from local communities as crucial partners in driving the development in the society. Their ability to address local needs, engage communities, and provide effective solutions has contributed to their growing importance in driving positive change and empowering marginalized populations. However, if we talk about the definition of financial sustainability, it refers to the ability of an organization to generate their fund through itself, and if the scarcity of resource is a significant issue when it comes to the financial sustainability of NGO. This means that organization face the challenges of having limited fund while needing consistent and sufficient funding for their various programs and activities. If these issues not addressed, this situation can lead to financial insustainability. And it is very crucial for the organization to ensure their long-term impact and effectiveness. And it is evident that NGO requires sustained financial support from various sources to secure their survival. This case study examined the factors that determine the financial sustainability of an NGO on the following variable. The first one is income diversification, and the second one is good donor relationship. These and below their waste warriors income diversification and the organization who are giving funding to it are given below. And these are the some special contract and others, Smith Nephew Precision Wires Tetra Pak. And if we talk about organization wide, there is Lal Family Foundation, Rohini, and more. And if we talk about CSR, Royal Enfield, HDFC Bank, Parivartan, SD Parekh Foundation, Livguard Batteries, and many more. And if we talk about the FCRA, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, it includes Give to Asia, Royal Academy of Engineering. This is the data of 2 years, comparative data of 2 years how an NGO is getting fund. If we see in the year 2021, the Waste Warriors get 41% from the CSR, and in 2022-23 it also remains same. But if we talk about FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, it increases from 2% to 16%. And also if we talk about the individuals, it also increases from 0.7 to 1%. And if we talk about the service contracts and special project, it decreases from 35 to 30%. And the last one is organization wide. This is also we see slight decrease. And in the year 2021-22, the Waste Warriors have successfully managed to get 5.4 crore, and in the year 22-23, it managed to get 8 crore. Previously, we talk about the income diversification, and the second financial sustainability determinant is good donor relationship. Maintaining a good donor relationship with funders is crucial for the success and sustainability of an NGO. Here are some key points which Waste Warriors is maintaining for effective relationship with their funders. The first one is clear communication. They are successful in maintaining clear communication, establishing open and transparent lines of communication with their funders. And the second one is relationship building. They have successfully take the time to build a personal relationship with their funders. They have arranged the face-to-face meetings and attend events or conferences where they are present, and we invite them to visit their projects. And the third one is the appreciation and acknowledgement. They show appreciation for the support provided by their funders, and collaborative approach involve the funders in decision making. It is also very crucial for the organization if they try to collaborate and their funders and try to uh, make try to involve in the decision making process. It builds confidence in them, and when appropriate, seek input on strategic planning, project design and evaluation. And the last one is timely and accurate reporting. It is very important to ensure that you submit reports and fulfill reporting requirement on time. Make sure the reports are accurate, well structured, and provide relevant information. This is the methodology which I have used while conducting a research. The study utilizes a case study research design, which provides an in-depth investigation of a specific phenomena within its real-life context. In addition to the case study, the study incorporates two semi-structured interviews. The interviews are conducted with the Ms. Hitosha Chatterjee, Associate Director, Himachal Pradesh, and Mr. Mohammad Kaif, Senior Associate, Himachal Pradesh. These are some findings which I get after the constructive and insightful interview with the Waste Warriors employees. I have received a lot of information and findings mentioned below. The first one is unrestricted income should be increased by the Waste Warrior for better flexibility, operational cost, organizational development, research and innovation, emergency response, networking and collaboration, and for better salaries and benefits that come through a variety of sources. For example, individual donors, donations, public appeals, fundraising through schools, where schools might do fundraising activities on behalf public and private events or through companies. And the second one is Waste Warriors has to strengthen their donor relationship, cultivate a strong relationship with donors by providing regular updates on the organization impacts and their progress. So accountability and transparency in how funds are utilized, which can help in retaining existing donors and also attracting new ones. Another one is an NGO. Waste Warriors has to strengthen the collaborations and partnership, explore collaborations with the government agencies, businesses, and community organizations, which which can lead to shared resources, cost sharing opportunities, and also increased funding prospects. And the last one is Waste Warriors has to build reserves and long-term sustainability. They have to allocate a portion of funds to build reserves or establish an endowment fund for long-term financial sustainability, which can help mitigate financial risk during lean periods or emergency in the future.
Okay,
These are
Asad, I request you to bring your presentation to the ending. Okay, because you've already exceeded the time limit.
sir. It comes to
Okay.
It is finished, I think, sir. Only 2 slides are remaining. These are the I'll conclude within 2 minutes. These are the some suggestions which I have, which I am giving to the waste warriors. They have to develop a fundraising strategy. They have to create a comprehensive fundraising plans that include different methods, such as uh, they have to arrange events, online campaigns, and donor outreach, and they have to explore earned income opportunities. They have to identify ways to generate income through fee-based services, products, or social enterprises that align with their mission, that will provide a sustainable revenue stream to supplement donations and grants. And the last one is long-term financial planning. Financial planning is a very crucial part. Create a long-term financial sustainability plan that account for future growth, potential risk, and contingency funds. Set aside reserve for emergency and invest in building organization capacity for the sustained financial stability. And at the last, the conclusion, in order the waste warriors have to enhance an NGO financial sustainability, and they have to optimize financial determinants such as income diversification and donor relationship. Several sound management practices should be implemented. First, they have to develop a robust financial strategy that includes long-term planning, budgeting, and monitoring mechanism. Secondly, income diversification should be pursued through exploring alternative funding sources, establishing sustainable revenue generating activities, and seeking collaboration with the private sector entities. Lastly, fostering a strong donor relationship through effective communication, transparency, and accountability is crucial. By implementing these practices, the NGO can strengthen their financial position, reduce dependency on limited funding sources, and enhance its ability to sustain its mission and impact in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Asad. You can turn the screen share off. I would now like to request, thank you for the presentation, first of all. I would request Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi, ma'am, please provide the feedback.
Thank you, Asad. It was nice to hear about this presentation. And I think I liked that you, I like the topic, because I think this topic has been very important, especially in the past couple of decades. And it's nice to know that you actually found an organization and conducted a case study on the same. I think that you mentioned certain literature from 2002 and certain later. So I was just wondering that if, like you mentioned 2002 and then 2022. So I was wondering that you had looked at literature over that span of time. So, I can understand there was some time-wise limitations. So it would be useful to know these things as well. I think that the points you highlighted in regards to good donor relationship, and when you applied the same to the organization or the selected organization, I think your points were strong, how they can improve their work in future. And it was nice to know that, I guess I correctly understood that you were saying that their income had increased from 5.4 to 8 crores over a period of time. So I think these were strong points about the presentation. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mohammad Asad.
Welcome, sir.
We have our next presenter, Dr. Palak Saxena. And I would request all the participants, all the presenters, to please stick to the timeline. We have 3 presenters, including Dr. Palak Saxena. So please start the presentation, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
G.
Hi, this is Dr. Palak here. I'm from Noida International University. I'm an assistant professor. So today I'm going to present the PPT on artificial intelligence. Okay, sorry, due to some reasons, I'm not able to open my laptop. It's hanged at the moment. So I'll just share it with my phone. So the topic of my paper is transforming lives with AI, real world applications. So I just put some case studies in that because in these times we just need people just to observe that AI is using in many of the streams, whether it is related to education, it's related to health industry, or if we talk about in journalism also, means each and everywhere AI role is important. I'm seeing. So the topic of my research all obviously shows introduction is basically relates to the concept. The concept of AI was first introduced in the 1950s with the term artificial intelligence being coined by John McCarthy. So basically the goal of AI was to create machines that could think and learn like humans. Early research focused on also developing algorithms and computer programs that could perform tasks requiring, human intelligence. So basically, if we talk about in 1960s and 70s, AI research gained momentum and, new techniques were developed at that time, such as rule-based expert systems. And in the continuation in 1980s, if we talk about 80s to 90s, AI research shifted towards machine learning, as we all know, which involved developing algorithms that could learn from data and improve their performances over time. So this led to the development of neural networks also. Then if we talk about today's time, AI is being used in various industries to improve efficiency, cost reduce, enhancement of quality of life for people around the world. So basically the goal already shown here that the machines could think, but not like human. Okay, because it is already created by human only. So nobody
Sorry
can
to interfere. Sorry to interfere, ma'am. If in case you are changing the slides, we cannot see it.
Objective of my paper is relates to the understanding, which shows the impact of AI in real life as we are seeing. And second is recognize the importance of AI in journalism also. I'll just discuss this thing in later. And third is comprehend the role of AI in healthcare and education field also, which gained so much of success if we talk about in that. Next slide, please. Yeah, literature review. Actually, I'm not able to see. Literature review. The concept of literature review is also here shown. No, sorry, the AI concept is also shown through my literature review. I have recognized that AI changes the people's life and increasingly productive day after day by powering the multiple services and programs, which shows the helping of the people in their day-to-day life, enhancing and establishing a connection with friends, using applications or email if we talk about in working environment, or for some who has a reservation about the usage of AI, that will also be comfortable to know that society has been taking advantage of some years ago. And nowadays, society is also using in that and using the importance of AI. And, basically the effect we can also see in both negative and positive also, according to Nadikattu 2022 I'm talking about. So basically in this study, I have seen that undoubtedly there's a transformation of lives in people in society. So basically the algorithm of AI has to be built in aligning the importance of goal that has to be in humanity manner. Next slide, please. Okay, no, next. Okay, let's move on to another slide. Yeah, role of AI in real life. If we talk about, the convergence of AI and social media is also becoming an increasingly popular as both technologies have more pervasive in people's life also. So basically, social network are also using AI to better target users, allowing marketers to conduct extensive support and ad campaigns on most, social networks. If we talk about without AI, market would have to spend a lot of money, developing and distributing content for each campaign. explain. And if we talk about in real life, each and every people are using AI tools like Google Lens, virtual assistants. If we are driving also, we can see some kind of instructions which is coming from AI, banking, finance, wearable and health monitoring, Fitbit, if we talk about another Garmin watch, then each and every system can be used in AI basis. So transformation of government also is also using, internet and social media. We are using in the navigation also. If we want to go anywhere, we can see that navigation is already here and we can go without any asking to anybody, disturbing anybody. And natural language processing we can also see. And if we want to listen to music, for example, Spotify, then we can get in touch. If we are, driving the car, we can just listen the music while saying that please put on the music. So this is the thing which I have seen in AI, and this is I'm showing in my case studies also. Please move ahead. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm seeing nowadays, I'm seeing that AI Sana is also here. In journalism, Aaj Tak is basically a Hindi news channel that has recently introduced an AI news anchor named Sana. So basically, Sana is an AI-powered virtual news anchor who can deliver news in Hindi also in the same way, same tone, just like a human anchors. So she has created by the team at Aaj Tak in collaboration with tech company, Logically AI. Basically, Sana is designed to read news script in real time, as you all people know, I think, and aware also. So delivery that, them in a natural, engaging way. She uses, in advanced language processing, which is called, natural language processing, NLP. And machine learning algorithm also is used to context the news and deliver in a way that is, easy to understand for the audiences. In fact, the point is that audience can also ask the question to her. So the introduction of Sana has received a mixed reaction from the public also. Some people says, no, she cannot replace the humans, but some says, like, okay, technology advancement we are seeing. So efficiency of using AI-powered anchor, while others have expressed concerns, about the potential loss of jobs. People are saying like that, but I don't know, is it true or not? So despite the mixed reaction I'm seeing here, and Aaj Tak believe that Sana will revolutionize the news industry and pave the way for more AI-powered news anchors for the future. Definitely, it can be. So they also believe that Sana